365 Sports.
Welcome back to the show. 365 Sports Mizzou. My name's Davis Wilson, here with Road Media. Thanks for being here again. If you missed it yesterday, we talked about Missouri's offense against Arkansas in the 31-17 win over the Razorbacks. The day before that, we talked about a whole bunch of SEC stuff, a bunch of coaching craziness happened last week. So if you want to get up to date on that, go watch Monday's episode. But today, we got a couple things to talk about. First being, what we do on Wednesdays is do a defense rewatch, and that is the plan. I do have things to say about Missouri's defense from the win over Arkansas on Saturday, but I want to start with basketball because Missouri played its first big game in basketball last night, and they lost. And people are pretty mad all over the place on Twitter and everything, and I get it. It was a pretty disappointing loss because Missouri had a 7-point lead heading into halftime, and they got 26 points out of Mark Mitchell. They got 22 points out of Jacob Cruz. But it wasn't enough. And the Fighting Irish, which is a good team, it shouldn't be, we shouldn't overreact here. Notre Dame is a good basketball team that have come close in these close games before. But Missouri loses 76-71. They're held to 31 points in the second half. The offense really sputters. They basically have two guys who scored for them all game. That's Mark Mitchell, who had 26, like I said, and Jacob Cruz off the bench had 22, 5 of 10 from 3. Those two guys were the only two guys who hit threes in the game. Missouri missed 8 free throws. They got to the line 25 times, but missed 8 of them. So that's a huge difference right there. Even if you make 6 of them, 6 of the 8 you missed, you're winning the game. But going through the box score, Javon Porter started. He had 0 points. He threw up a couple really terrible shots that did not hit the rim. Sean Phillips, your big man, who you count on to at least rebound the ball for you, only had 2 rebounds in 24 minutes, 6 points. Not an impressive day for him. Anthony Robinson had 6 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals, 5 turnovers, so filled it up. But, they're going to have to get more scoring from him because right now, especially when you're missing Jaden Stone, it's not good enough. You don't have enough. Mark Mitchell can't do this on his own. And I think, and I'll keep going through it before I start, Sebastian Mack, 6 minutes, 2 points. I don't know how much he's going to give you this year. I really don't. Northweather, 0 points. Boateng, 3 points. Teo Barrett, 6 points. People are upset about this. I've seen it online already. This is not a bad loss in and of itself. Like, this is a good team you played, a tough road environment. This is kind of, I don't know. This isn't a huge deal just when you look at the result. Obviously, you want to win this game. It's a big resume thing. But I think the problem that I have with it is not so much that they lost. It's more so the fact that they lost. It's the way they lost. They could not shoot the ball. They were 6 of 21 from 3. And we know that these Dennis Gates teams live and die by the 3. If you can't shoot the 3, you don't win. And that's what happened today. You don't really have anyone else who can score for you outside of Mitchell and Cruz. And Robinson, I expect to score more in other games. That's okay, but this is kind of what my fear was for this team going into the year, was that you're losing Tamar Bates, you're losing Caleb Grill, two of your best scorers, and it doesn't feel like they did enough to replace that. It felt more like Gates was counting on development of guys who are already there. Because the guys they went and got aren't scorers that were ever going to replace Tamar Bates and Caleb Grill or even come close to it. I think he was counting on Cruz getting better, and it looks like Cruz is better. Mark Mitchell, who's counting on him, and that's happening. Anthony Robinson has not been the scorer that you need him to be, especially in this game. Javon Porter, I don't think he's going to give you anything this year. I don't really see the appeal of him. He can't shoot. He can't rebound. He can rebound. He can shoot, but he didn't in this game. Boateng really hasn't come on quite like you wanted him to. Like, I don't know where the scoring's going to come from, especially now with Jaden Stone out. And Jaden Stone will be back, but he was a guy that seemed like he was a successful find in the portal. And now he's gone, and you're kind of left with not much of a supporting cast. So that is where my concerns lie. It's like, where does Missouri produce from? And I don't know. I think, the way they played there against Notre Dame, I think Kansas is going to blow this team out on Sunday. I don't see enough out of Missouri. And that can change, obviously. It's very early in the season. That was kind of their first test. But yeah, I'm not seeing a ton that makes me feel great about just the offense that can happen from this team. So I'm not going to overreact like a lot of people are. Missouri's 8-1 now. They still have a pretty good win over Minnesota. They play Kansas on Sunday. That's another opportunity to go get a big-time win at a neutral site. So I'm going to hold off any real true judgment I have until after that game. And I said yesterday, if you go 0-2 in this week, I think that's trouble. And so we'll see what happens. But Missouri was in control of this game against Notre Dame for a lot of it. And, I think the ending was, I don't ever feel super, I don't know if this is fair to say, but I never feel super confident in this team in late game situations. You saw them double, they went and doubled Marcus Burton, who's their best player, but they doubled off of Cole Serta, who was 3 of 6 from 3 up to that point. They doubled off of him, left him wide open. He cans a 3 with just seconds remaining. I get that they're trying to get the ball out of Burton's hands, but you cannot leave the best shooter on the court to do that. You have to be smarter than that. And then you get the ball, you're down by 3. Jacob Cruz jacks up the worst shot you've ever seen. They have 20 seconds to go get a shot. And instead, Cruz goes and shoots the first 3 he sees, which is just terrible. It was so bad. And, I was going to come on here and apologize to Cruz because I was a hater last year. And then he comes in and scores 22 tonight. I thought he was going to lead the way in a win. But that is a god-awful decision and shot by Cruz. And I don't know if Gates' whole philosophy is get a shot off early, so then we know, even if we miss it, we know what we need to do to tie the game. But I hate that. I hate that so much. It was a terrible look. It was never going in. You have a point guard in Robinson who can set things up. You have, I don't understand how that was the play. And I don't know if Gates said, shoot it, like just go shoot it and we'll figure it out. But when you have that much time, I'd like you to take a timeout, talk about it at least. Or if you don't take a timeout, just set up for a second. You don't have to shoot the first terrible look you see from three. I think you even had enough time to do it, to try to I mean, let me just find this sequence. You had enough time to, make a 2 and then foul. I think you had enough time for that. Serta made the 3 with 17 seconds. Cruz missed a terrible attempt with 13 seconds. So 4 seconds after the made shot, Cruz is jacking up a shot of his own. You have 17 seconds to get a good look. That is like the amount of time you typically use in a shot clock, in a 30-second shot clock in college basketball. So the in-game situations here, it was awful. It was so bad. You've choked this game away. It was a pretty good environment, though. Pretty good pretty good crowd there in South Bend. But I don't really care about that. I'm much more frustrated with the late game execution and the lack of depth and supporting cast than just the loss in itself. So that's got to get improved. I mean, just awful by Jacob Cruz. So bad. I cannot believe I ever thought about apologizing to him. And he played great. And without him, they wouldn't have been in the game at all. But that is a god-awful shot that was never, ever going in. It's almost like he bet on Notre Dame to win the game because he was like, I'll just shoot this. I'll for sure win some money. Like, this is the worst shot I've ever seen. Let's shoot it. Just awful. Really, really, really bad. And if that's Gates' strategy, shoot the first 3 you see. So even if you miss, we have an opportunity to work back into it. I hate that. So late game stuff was terrible, but overall, a 5-point loss to Notre Dame on the road is not the end of the world. Missouri obviously plays in the SEC, has plenty of chances to get big-time wins on the road. They play Kansas coming up. They play Illinois coming up. If they play like that against those 2 teams, though, I don't love the chances, but the season is young, and we'll see what happens. All right, let's flip over to the gridiron, talk football. I rewatched Missouri's defense against Arkansas. This defense has been good all year long. It was good again on Saturday. Really only allowed 1 touchdown the whole game. And honestly, Arkansas scored 17 points. The field goal came, I believe the field goal is after they snapped it over the punter's head. So that doesn't help Missouri's defense either. So I'm really only going to give Missouri's defense credit for giving up 7 points, which is really good against this Arkansas offense. And I will say this about Arkansas's offense. They put out KJ Jackson to start the game, the left-handed freshman quarterback from Montgomery, Alabama. He gets out there, and when he leaves the game, it's I believe it's 14-7 or something. And of course, one of those was a defensive touchdown by Arkansas because Bo Pabila just slipped out of his hands. I don't know how you explain that, but then they put Taylor Green in, and it just didn't look as good. I thought KJ Jackson was there. He threw a nice touchdown pass over on a seam route to Omega Blake. That was a nice play. I just wanted to talk about that. I was confused why they put Green back in when Jackson, to me, looked like the better quarterback. But, Missouri does a really nice job against this Arkansas offense. Holds the Razorbacks to 246 total yards, 185 passing, only 61 on the ground. Only 25 minutes time or 26 minutes of time of possession for Arkansas. That's pretty good. Arkansas did not do themselves any favors. Had 16 penalties for 121 yards, which is pretty nuts. But I'm happy with the way this Missouri defense played. It's played really well all year. I thought Cornell was good. He came up and made some big tackles in this game. I should talk about that. I think the tackling in this game was really, really great. It was a nice showcase of tackling for Missouri. Josiah Trotter led the way, of course, as he usually does with tackles. I believe he had he had 10 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack. Cornell had a tackle for loss. McClellan had 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. Damon Wilson had a tackle for loss. Sterling Webb had a tackle for loss. So it was 8 tackles for loss for Missouri. 5 passes defended. The secondary was better. So yeah, I mean, it was a better effort for sure in terms of coverage, I think. But all year long, man, I've been really, really excited about, especially this front 7. It's been awesome. I'm sad you're going to lose, guys like Damon Wilson, probably maybe Zion Young, because they've been so much fun to watch. You're going to lose a couple of your defensive tackles who've also been really great to watch. But I think, yesterday I kind of did a broader picture of the offense rather than just talk about this game, because this game was a good win. And I'll talk about this game a little bit in a second. But just to speak on Missouri's defense over the year, I was definitely worried about this unit first, especially with how the secondary looked. You're giving up a lot of not a lot, but it doesn't look good. The passing defense doesn't look good. It's kind of held up by a really good pass rush, but the secondary doesn't look good. I think as the year went on, especially here in the last month or so, the secondary has looked a lot better, and I think that's great. I don't think this defense cost Missouri any games. Maybe the Alabama game, I remember there was some frustrating defensive possessions in that, but they also got a strip sack there that led to a touchdown in that game. So it's hard to blame them. But I think this defense did its job all year long. And if you have, maybe the Texas A&M game, right, it kind of gets away from you there. But again, even in that game, they had held Texas A&M in the first half pretty well. So I don't think the defense cost you any games, which is good, which is great. And I think this defense is playoff caliber. I think it deserves to play in the postseason. Guys like Damon Wilson, Zion Young, Josiah Trotter, they all deserve to go be playing in the playoffs, but the offense just can't really keep up. But man, did this defense do a great job of keeping Missouri in games that they had no business being in. That was great. That was really, really good. What I mean is the Vanderbilt game, where Missouri's offense does nothing. The Oklahoma game where Missouri's offense does nothing. The Auburn game, Missouri's offense does nothing. Like, the defense really, really did do a nice job. In the Auburn game, it took a while for the defense, actually. But in overtime, man, the defense came alive in that one. So I think this was a really nice year for the defense, and you're going to have to replace a lot coming up this year. But Corey Batoon, I'm starting to feel better about him. So I think he'll be back. I did see a rumor, Power Mizzou, I think, reported something that he could be a candidate for different defensive coordinator jobs. We'll see about that, though. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope that they can go hit the portal hard and bring in some they need some help big time at cornerback. They need some help on the defensive line now with a couple of these guys I expect to be gone. So I'll be keeping my eye on that. I think, they're going to hit the portal hard is my expectation, especially now with kind of what I'm seeing out of today's early signing day. And I'll kind of talk about that in a second, but Missouri is going to have space to go hit the portal hard. And I really do expect them to do that. I expect them to bring in one of the best classes in the country again, which is what we've seen in the last couple of years. So I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about PFF grades for this Arkansas game. And then I'll go over signing day, what's happened, and then we'll be done.
Missouri, your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is now live in your state. Now you can make every game even more exciting with same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more. All from your phone, all safe, secure, and easy to use. Missouri fans know game day, the tailgates, the noise, the passion. Now, with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bring that same energy to every snap, every touchdown, every win. And right now, new Missouri customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense. Just pure action powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code ALLMIZZOU. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code ALLMIZZOU. Crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promo.
All right, we're back. All right, let's talk about PFF grades for this defense against Arkansas. Zion Young was the highest graded defender in this game. We've said that a lot this year, 76.9 defensive grade. He had 5 pressures. I think he led the team in pressures with, guess who he was tied with in pressures? Damon Wilson. Both guys had 5 pressures in this game. Toriano Pride, sorry, I'm not done with Zion Young yet. Young had 5 pressures, 3 quarterback hits, 2 quarterback hurries, and a tackle. Probably more than 1 tackle, right? Maybe 1 tackle. I don't know. But there you go. Toriano Pride was your second highest graded defender, 74.6. He's the guy for me who's gotten better as the year went on. It took him a long time, but he has been better in the last 3 or 4 games. Chris McClellan, a 73.0 grade, 3 pressures for him, 2 sacks for this guy, 1 quarterback hurry. What a game for Chris McClellan. This is the type of guy Missouri is really going to miss next year if he is in fact gone. Dre Norwood at 471.3. And then Darius Smith only played 18 snaps, but a 69.3 grade. He had 2 pressures and 2 quarterback hurries and only 18 snaps. That's pretty good. Moving along, run defense. The highest graded run defender was Dalen Carnell. I wrote this down in my notes. He was really, really great at coming down, getting himself, coming down to the line of scrimmage from his spot as that star, kind of safety linebacker hybrid. He is really good in the run game, and he was great in the run game in this one. Had a tackle for loss on like the second play of the game. He had a 75.1 run grade. He had 1 run stop, a tackle for loss. Josiah Trotter was 74.5. He had 2 run stops. Marvin Burks had 2 run stops, a 70.4 grade. Toriano Pride had 1 run stop, 69.7 grade. And then Zion Young, 69.6 run grade. So some good stuff there. Again, they only allowed 68 yards on the ground in this one. The pass rush grades, look at this. Braylon Henderson is only played 3 snaps, but he was the highest graded. I'm not going to count that. But he was the highest graded. He was the highest graded pass rusher in this game. Braylon Henderson comes from Ohio. He played for Ohio last year, 4 years at Ohio. Didn't play a ton this year, sorry. But he got involved a little bit in this game. So that's good. That's good for him. But really, your highest graded pass rusher was Chris McClellan, 73.9 grade. Again, 3 pressures, 2 sacks. A nice game for him. Josiah Trotter, 73.3. He had 2 pressures, a sack, quarterback hit. Zion Young, 5 pressures, 73.2, 3 quarterback hits, two quarterback hurries. And then Damon Wilson, the second, 69.0, 5 total pressures, 1 sack, 1 hit, 3 hurries. So there you go. That's pretty good. Okay, coverage grades. The highest graded man in coverage was Darius Smith, the linebacker. I expect him to be back next year. He'll be a good piece. 76.4 grade. Coverage grade for him. Jalen Catalon, 76.0. Toriano Pride, 73.1. Dre Norwood, 70.8. And Mose Phillips, the third, 64.5. Another guy I expect to be back next year. There's your breakdown of the PFF grades in this one. I've already mentioned a little bit. I think the defense played really well in this game. And to me, that's been the story of the year for them. They've played really well all year. I think they should be really proud of themselves. It's a shame that the offense wasn't quite at that level. But I don't know. It was a good year for the defense. Always fun to watch for me. It was a little bit frustrating in the beginning, but I think this defense was great. Pass rush was great. Linebackers were great. A lot of fun to watch. All right, let's talk about. I want to talk about some signing day stuff. Let me pull up the class here. Today is early signing day, and there have been a couple flips not in Mizzou's favor. Tony Forney, the safety, he flipped from Missouri to Pittsburgh. Oh, hold on. Let me pull this up. Yeah. So there you go. Micah Nickerson, the edge, transfers to Mississippi State, or not transfers, flips to Mississippi State. I think he was one time committed to Mississippi State, if I remember correctly. And then there was a player now in Arkansas's class that Arkansas actually flipped. Oh, yeah, it was Hodges, TJ Hodges, the running back. So Missouri's class now sits at 34th in the country. 19 commits. More space to go get some transfers, which I think should be a priority over high school these days, but still a good priority. Still a good class here in high school. Your number 1 commit is Taj Overton, a 4-star defensive lineman out of Oklahoma. Then you have Jackson Gates, a cornerback from Laverne, California, the 174th best player in the country, 4-star. You have DeMarcus Johnson, the second best JUCO player in the country, 6'7", 260-pound defensive lineman. And then you have Jaden McGregory, an athlete from Des Moines, Iowa, a 4-star, 384th best player in the country. So a good class, signing some big-time guys. We'll see how it works out. Their quarterback is Gavin Sidwar from Pennsylvania. He was a 3-star quarterback. So still a good signing day. I don't think it's the end of the world that you get some flips go the wrong way, because you're going to have some space in the portal to go get some more guys, and I like that. That's all I have today. Thanks for joining me here on this Wednesday. I'll be back tomorrow. I think I maybe preview Georgia and Alabama tomorrow, because that's the big game this weekend in the SEC. So come back for that if you're interested. Appreciate everybody for joining. I'll see you guys later.
365 Sports.